Hey guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Long time no talk. Been missing in action for about a minute, huh? But what else is new, right? Happy Gemini season to all my fellow Geminis out there. It's about us. Turn up, turn up, turn up. Woo, yes. Again, I know it's been a minute, but you guys already know that I don't like to come on air just talking about stuff that makes absolutely no sense. Okay? You guys already know that I want my topics, my subjects, anything that I discuss to be relatable. Okay? So, I was just scrolling on social media and I saw this post that I thought was pretty interesting. And the question was, should couples or married folks tell their spouse or their significant others about their whereabouts, as if where they are or where they're going? And of course, I like to read the comments, okay, because the comments is where it's at, okay? The comments be having the best jokes and sometimes some pretty interesting views. Now, I found this topic to be interesting because it was funny to me that there were a few comments out there that were like, no, because, he ain't my daddy. I didn't sign up for a chaperone. I don't need anybody controlling me. It's none of his business. And I'm like, what? And a lot of times, I know there are many, many different reasons, many different factors that can contribute to a person being single or a person being unhappy in their relationships. But I thought this is also one of the reasons, because if you have an issue with telling your mate, your significant other, about where you are, because you feel like he's chaperoning or he's controlling you, then why are you in a relationship? Me personally, I don't think that it's a problem, because what's understood don't need to be explained. Maybe it was the way that I was brought up, or maybe it's simply my way of thinking is maybe slightly different from the average person. And I'm not saying there weren't a few that were yes, you should tell your mate about where you're going or when you're coming in. But for those of you that disagree about informing your mate of your whereabouts, then you should just live a single life. And let me just say this. I'm not saying that there aren't people, male and female alike, that try to control you. Okay? And I have to say females too, because a lot of times when females are controlling in a relationship, it goes underneath the radar. And a lot of times it's always about the male controlling the female. Whereas there are many females out there that tries to control their mate or actually is controlling their mate. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. That's for those people that are in difficult, toxic situations or relationships, and they can seem to find the strength or the courage to leave said relationship. Okay? This is not about those people. This is not about those type of relationships. even though it's not approved, it's a big no-no. But for the many of us that has found a good and genuine partner with good intentions and pure heart, that are in good, loving, kind, healthy relationships, there is no issue of telling your partner where you are going when you are leaving your house. First of all, it's called respect. Because as a parent, I mean, granted, right? Granted. And I'm not saying like being in a relationship with your boyfriend, fiance, your husband, your wife is kind of like that. But as far as the term of respect, when you tell your kids, when you leave the house, I need to know where you're going. And I need to know who you're going with. And it's for various reasons. It's because, number one, it's called respect. You have to respect the person that you are living with enough to say, hey, I'm running to the store real quick. It's called respect. And it's also called transparency. But most important of all, if nothing else, it's for your own safety. When parents do it, it's for safety reasons, along with those other reasons that I mentioned. When your spouse or your mate, your partner, when they ask you, hey, where you going? For those of you that are in healthy relationships, it's out of a place of concern. So you shouldn't feel no type of way informing your mate or your partner, whichever terms that you want to use, as to where you're going, who you're going with, if for nothing else, for your own safety. Okay? The times have changed. We live in a dead-ass, dangerous world. And it's becoming more and more dangerous day by day. And especially for black males and females, especially for black females, it is especially dangerous. So when you're stepping out of the house, don't look at informing your mate that you're stepping out as your mate trying to parent you or as your mate trying to control you. This is your mate showing concern, because if push comes to shove, because a million things could go wrong the minute you step foot out the house. If shit was to hit the fan, I'm going to need a starting point. I am dead ass going to need a starting point. It's not to say that I'm trying to control you. Okay? I want you to have your space. I want you to have your freedom. I want you to have your individual fun without me. I'm not here to chaperone you. I'm not here to be a parent to you. I'm not here to be a shadow. But we are in this together. And if I'm supposed to protect you, if I'm supposed to be there for you, then knowing where you are at and who you are with should fall under the term of me being protective. Because again, I'm going to need a starting point, and I'm going to need to know whose phone I'm going to blow up. And I know many of you can be like, you know what, I'm just going to lie. Why? Why would you lie to your mate about your whereabouts, especially if you know that you ain't doing no shady shit? If you ain't doing nothing that you're not supposed to do, if you're not doing anything out of the ordinary, there should not be an issue of your mate knowing where you are and who you are with. it shouldn't be an issue. Because again, I'm going to need to know who to call. So when you step out my house and you say, babe, I'm going to go to the bar, or I'm going to go to the park and play ball. Who are you going to play ball with? If you're going to play ball with Jerome and you don't show back up at my house, then I'm going to call Jerome's phone, and Jerome's going to have to provide you to me. Because at the end of the day, your safety comes first, and you need to make it back home to me. Okay? It's called respect and transparency. It's not controlling. It's not chaperoning. It's not parenting. It's called respect. It's called transparency. And if you care about the person and you care about the nature of your relationship, little things like that shouldn't be an issue. Again, if you are in a toxic relationship with a controlling person, it's different. But if you are in a healthy relationship, and this person genuinely care about you, there shouldn't be an issue of you informing them where you are going, who you're going with, and possibly how long you're going to be. And trust, I'm not going to be blowing up your phone like throughout the course of the day or whatever. I may check in with you every now and then just to be like, hey, is everything okay? Or whatever, that's it. But I'm not going to keep tabs on you. I'm not going to, spy and do all of that extraness, because at the end of the day, if there's no trust in a relationship, there is nothing. If there is no trust in any form of a relationship, then you have nothing. Okay? Now, if you gave me a time, let's say, for example, that I'm expecting you home at 2 a.m. I'm expecting you home at 2 a.m. and you don't show up at my house at 2 a.m., I'm going to give you an extra 30 minutes. And a lot of you may say 30 minutes is too long or whatever. But I just feel like, because anything can happen, I like to give people grace period. And maybe 30 minutes is maybe too long of a grace period, right? But okay. Maybe I'll give you 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, because anything can happen. After which time, if I don't see the headlights pulling up, if I don't see the car door, if I'm not hearing the car door slam, then I'm going to start blowing up your phone to make sure that everything is okay. Not with an attitude. Okay? Not with an attitude. And listen, fellas and ladies, because some ladies do it too. This is not a pass on excuse to disrespect your mate, or to disrespect your home, and to come home at any given time that you choose. No. That shit ain't gonna fly. But I'm saying, if we had this conversation and I'm expecting you home at 2, by 2:30, you should be in my house. Now, if I call you and you pick up, I'm just going to be like, okay, is everything okay? Just want to make sure you're, how far you are, just checking in. making sure that I don't need to freak out. If you ignore my calls and you show up past the time that you were scheduled to be home, we gonna have a problem. I'm just keeping it real. We gonna have a problem. If you don't show up at all, then whoever that you went out with, they gonna have a problem. And that's real. Whomever you listed as the people that you were hanging out with that day or that night, and you don't make it back home to me in one piece, they gonna have a problem. They gonna have to answer to me, and they gonna have to find a way to provide you to me. Okay, so I just really wanted to say that because, again, I found it interesting and weird that a lot of females seems to think, or they lack the common respect of simply telling their mate where they're at. Oh, he ain't my daddy. Well, you ain't his mother, but when he steps out the house, you'll be wanting to know where he going and who he going with. You ain't his mother. So what makes you feel like, okay, you can question him about his whereabouts, but he can't question you about your whereabouts? And again, I will say this: what is understood don't need to be explained. At the end of the day, if we are in a healthy relationship, a loving, kind, caring, where the feeling is 1,000% mutual relationship, those are little things that goes without saying. I shouldn't have to question you about where you're going. It should be something that is automatically indoctrinated into you to say that, when you're stepping out the house, that you let your person know where you're going and who you're going with. That should go without saying. It's not something that, the other person should be asking. That should be voluntary information for me. This is how I see it. Because again, and I can't stress this enough, at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, when the shit hit the fan, I need to have a starting point. I seriously need to have a starting point. I need to know where the location that you were at. I need to know that's the location you said that you was going to be. That's the location I'm going to start from. And if you and your friends, if you and your boys, if you and your girls are planning on hitting different spots, check in with your mate. Okay? Out of respect. Again, for your own safety. When you're leaving the first location and you're heading to a different location, out of respect, we are headed this way. Okay? Again, because I'm going to need a starting point. Not to say that I'm keeping tabs. Not to say that I'm trying to control you. I just need to know that you're okay. I just need to know that, God forbid, if I get a call, I need to know who I'm going to question. I need to know who I'm going to put my size 8.5 foot. Yes, I wear 8.5. Okay. And no, it is not big. Okay. I'm a tall ass girl. Okay. Because I know you guys going to say something about my feet. Let's not go there. Back to what I was saying. I'm going to need to know who asked my 8.5 shoe size foot, who I'm going to shove them up in, because my boo left the house with you. He told me that he was going to meet up with you. And my babe, he did not make it home. So you needs to talk. and you need to tell me what's up. Okay? It's never about control. It's never about controlling the other person. If you are in a relationship and you feel like you have to control that person, then you need to set that person free. And I will say it again. If you are in a relationship with somebody and you feel the only way you can keep them is to control them, then you need to set that person free. Being in a relationship is not, I repeat, it is not about controlling the other person. It's about mutual love and respect, loyalty, and trust, both ways. It's never about control. Because even though that we are together, we are a unit, we are a couple, we are also individuals. And we need that space and that room to be individuals. Okay? It's never about control. So please change that mentality. Please change the idea of thinking that your mate that genuinely loves and cares for you, that is only concerned and looking out for your best interest, is trying to parent you or control you by simply wanting to know where you are going and who you're going with. It's a matter of respect. It's a matter of transparency. I'm always getting tongue-tied with these words. But more importantly, it's also about your safety. So the next time you're stepping out of the door, please be mindful and inform your mate. Because especially for women, we will worry ourselves sick. You hear me? We will worry ourselves sick when we don't know where you are or how long you're going to be. If you are 5-10 minutes past the time that you were scheduled to be home, we have a million different type of scenarios that goes on through our heads. And when you finally walk in through that door, the relief that floods through our body is a feeling that is so indescribable that it's hard to explain, like the kind of relief that we feel, especially being Black in America. Okay? So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Heaven knows when the next recording is going to be. But the thing is, I be trying sometimes, and I'm like, girl, I don't want to be going on air just rambling about, random stuff that don't be making no sense. Like, the world already don't make no sense, People, like, the only thing people care about is, like, the BS, what don't make no sense, just, about the mess. And my show isn't about the mess, It's more about relatable issues of everyday life and relationships, apparently. So bear with me, okay? Bear with me and keep me in your prayers. If you guys enjoy the show, you guys can just pray and be like, when is this crazy girl gonna come back with an interesting podcast to talk about? But I'm just gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.